guys, if you're watching this, it's because I decided to go public with this video. I am originally uploading it and keeping it private for myself and my family and anybody I want to share the link with. But the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to lose the footage, but I need to free up the camera space or the storage space on my phone so that I can continue with other videos. I don't have just an enormous amount of space at this point to leave videos just sit. But in my search for coming out with my own amplifier, this is the one that I refer to as number 4. It's one of the ones that I was the most excited about. But I want to just show it to you. It's a plain black box. This comes directly from a Chinese build house. They can and will put my name on here if I want them to, on the box and the amplifier, but they leave it completely unbranded for people to, you know, make it theirs, put their name on it. But let's just show you what you get here. It's a pretty good size amp. This is a 2000 watt model, by the way. The paper is very simple. It's just one piece of paper folded in half. It shows you the connections and all and how to wire it up. Here's the specs. I know you guys are mostly concerned. Look at this current draw, 300 amps. Up here at the top, 700 at 4 ohms, 1200 at 2 ohms, 2000 at 1 ohm. And all of those say at less than 1% distortion. They also say RMS, but that's all you get. As far as, if you notice, that's completely unbranded as well. Let's get to the good stuff. There she is. This is a pretty good size amp, I'll be honest with you. All right, let me get this out of here and get the box out of the way. Here we are. Take it out of the plastic. All right, here we go. This is a pretty good size amplifier. There's my hand. 1, 2, about 3 hands. It's got some weight to it too. This thing feels substantial. So when you look at this, you hold it. This is just sort of a, I'm gonna say old school. The only reason I say that is because nowadays all the amps are going to small, compact, the Brazilian style, the full bridge style. All of these amps are getting pretty small. But what was kind of cool about this one is it just reminds me of a older style, half bridge, built like a tank, could handle a lot, could probably handle lower ohm loads, all that type of stuff. So let's look at this end while we're here. Notice it's all unbranded. 0 gauge. This is cool. 0 gauge, and these are like 8 gauge. The remote as well. No lights on this end of the amp. The other end. So I really like. It's a pretty nice amp. Notice you have the metal knobs, Tiffany RCAs. Check that out. All 4 of the RCAs are Tiffany style. You do have a light on this end. 2 lights, power and protect. Actually, check that out. No, that's right. That's right. They got that. I thought they had that spelled wrong, but they don't. Back plate, completely unbranded. Did I say this amp is heavy? So let's get to the videos. I have actually already shot the videos, so if you hear my language, you know, talk like I already know a little bit more about this than I do, it's because I do. I've already shot these videos. But let me roll in the videos. I'll say this too. As you watch these videos, when I was shooting these, I was not shooting them with the intentions of making a YouTube video. I was shooting them for my benefit, for me to go back and watch the footage, look at the numbers, make some decisions about whether, you know, I want to come out with this, and all that type of stuff. I cuss a couple of times. I apologize for that again. So just think I wasn't really intended to make this a YouTube video, any of these that you're about to see. But I want to show you the testing. I want to show you what happened, and we will talk again after that. All right, the D2000 just showed up probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago, and I'm already hooking it up. I'm so excited. This amp is pretty substantial. When you pick it up, it's heavy, it's beefy, it looks pretty serious. It's got 0 gauge power and ground. It's got the 2 positives and 2 negatives there. Really cool amp. Oh, let's go around there. So fixing to do a first turn on. Just now got it hooked up. Have not set the gains yet or tested for a clean signal. That is very important to see how clean of a signal this puts out. The D1000 puts out distortion. I've got my fingers crossed that this one does not do that. The salesperson in China told me that the D2000 puts out a better signal. Boy, I hope she's right. But let's turn it on for the first time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's exactly how the D1000 does. I don't know why it takes that red one so long to go out, but that is what the D1000 did as well. I guess it goes through some sort of a self-check, and I'm cool with that as long as it, you know, if it, you know, a normal startup. And I'm gonna say it is, because the D1000 did the exact same thing. All right, I'm fixing to get the DD1 out and probably the O-scope and see if this thing's a clean signal or not. Keep your fingers crossed. I know I am. All right, 4 ohms, rated 700. What's it gonna do? $814, the voltage dropped to 14.6, and the current draw was 90.0. Nice. All right, 2 ohms, rated 1200 watts. What's it gonna do? Oh, shit. Forgot to turn the amp on. I do that so often. Okay. All right, here we go. Track 4, rated 1200. Nice. $13.99. $13.99. The voltage dropped to 14.4, which is perfect. The current draw was 161.9. Uh-oh, so that distortion light did come on. Did you see that? Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
It blew it. It blew it.
Dang.
What the? It's on fire. All right, guys. So with what you just saw, as you can imagine, I was super disappointed. I was excited about this one. This was number 4 that I had tested. I wasn't super tickled about the first 3. I like amp number 3 decent, but it's not really the kind of amp that I want to come out with to start with. I'm not going to say what it is yet, because I don't know if I do upload these videos. I don't know in what order I'm going to upload them, but I was real excited about this one. Guys, I'm not super good with amp guts, but the part that's blown here, right there, you can see it. It's a different color. It's kind of burnt looking. You can even see over on the side there. So this is a transistor, I'm pretty sure, that failed. It's possible. It looks to me like that one transistor could be switched out, and it might go back to working again. anyhow, got some decent beefy looking internals here. There is a lot of extra space too. If you notice the way this amp is made, a lot of extra space. This amp could have been made to be smaller than it is, but still extra heat shrink, you know, better heat dissipation, but still a nice beefy amp that does its power. And speaking of that, it was doing great at 4 ohms and 2 ohms. I thought it was going to kill it at 1 ohm because it did a great dynamic number, 26. If I can insert the still shot, I have a still shot of the dynamic. I don't think I shot a video of the dynamic, but dynamic at 1 ohm, it did like 2680 something, I think. I know it was 26 something. So I thought, wow, this is going to be a beast. It's going to do its power and all that stuff. So as I did the 4 ohm test, it was doing great. 2 ohm did great. That 1 ohm, you saw what happened. I don't know, and I know that's a tough test, but in my opinion, an amp like this should be able to do that. You should be able to go to 1 ohm uncertified on resistors without blowing an amp, especially one that's like this. So I was super disappointed because I was thinking this might be the one, but at the end of the day, guys, I can't come out with something that's junk. I don't want to put my name on something that's garbage. It just wouldn't be right. So I know that I can't come out with something super high end. If I did, I'd be talking to some build houses in Korea, but I want to be somewhere in the middle, right? A good value, good power, not stupid expensive, and not some of this little cheesy stuff either that you pull the plate off of it and there's nothing there. So anyhow, I'm sure I'm going to miss some stuff. Again, if the videos look weird, that last video, by the way, I narrowed that thing all the way down to 16 seconds. That video is actually over 2 minutes long. So there's a whole lot of stuff on there before and after that I just wanted to cut out. But again, guys, that's why this video may look a little strange. So let me say this, I will not be coming out with this amp. And I don't know, I'm still on the search. Amp number 5 is still on the way. It hasn't arrived yet, but it is in transit. And the truth is, at this point that I'm talking to the camera right now, I don't know yet how that amp's going to do. I got high hopes for that amp. There is a good possibility that that could be the one. It's coming from a completely different build house than this one, but I don't know yet if these things are going to pan out, if I end up coming out with an amp, or if it just doesn't work out and I don't come out with one at all. I don't know how any of that's going to turn out just yet, but I'm thinking about doing a video on each one of these things and maybe releasing them at some point. So I would love your feedback, what you think of this whole ordeal. Just leave it in the comments. Let me know. All right. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, I needed to add a couple of things here to the end that I forgot to mention. Number one, this amp showed up putting out a clean signal. That wasn't always the case. Learned pretty quickly coming out of China. Anyhow, I'll address that with the other amplifiers. I was told by this build house that this amp was going to show up putting out a cleaner signal. They already knew what I was talking about, and they knew that this amp put out a cleaner signal than one of their other ones. And I thought that was interesting, and I'll talk about that in the other video with the other amplifier. But of the 5 amplifiers that I have already purchased as samples, 3 of them came out of this same build house. So number 1 and 2 came out of the same build house as this one here, number 4. Number 3 was a different build house, and number 5 that's still on the way is a completely different build house from the other 2. So I've purchased from 3 different build houses. Anyhow, this thing did show up with a clean signal. It was really clean on the O-scope. If I can, I'll insert a still shot of what this looked like on the O-scope. And in that picture, that signal is turned all the way up I went to clipping just barely and then backed it just off enough to turn out the DD1 light and to not be clipping on the O-scope. And that is just a prettiest sine wave. It's the prettiest sine wave out of all 4 so far. So I was excited to see that. They said that it was going to be that way, and they was right. It was. Also, in that last video, if it sounds weird where I'm talking about, yep, look right there, the distortion light, what I was noticing, and I didn't say what I really meant to say, was I noticed while doing the run that it looked like that distortion light on the DD1 came on before it reached 2,000 watts. So that was the first run that I was like, uh-oh, I don't think this thing did its rated power. Yeah, it did not like the 1 ohm load at all. My son pointed out, and we went back and watched the video, he's right. It was making a little bit of noise. What was the deal? Oh, we had also done another 1 ohm run in that 2-minute video that I cut down to 16 seconds. And you could hear this thing making a little bit of noise that I didn't notice. What it was, I forgot to put my leads for the AMM1. I forgot to put them on the positive and negative terminals of my resistors, so it didn't show the output. So we had already done 1 run, and he noticed during that run that this made a little bit of noise, and he was right, it did. And I didn't notice it. Then when we did the runs were exactly the same. There was no difference. The volume was the same. The gain was the same. I just simply put those, hooked up that correctly with the AMM1, and then started the track over and did a second run. And then that was when it blew. But that's what I'm talking about in that, where I'm talking about, oh, you see there, the light. I was just making a mental note to myself that it looked like that light came on before it had reached 2,000 watts. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this amp. I'm still on the hunt for something better, something that I can be proud to put my name on and offer a decent value to the public as well. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, thanks for watching.